We may not be able to see them when we're sharing our screen. Okay.
Right. Yeah. They're seeing everything that's on this TV right now. So. Yeah.
6:30. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks everybody for being here. We've got our remote locations going this week. So I believe Anita is online. Was online. I think we got both of them checked in. We've sent these links to a couple of other people, namely Marty. I don't know if he's on from Honduras or not, but he is abroad.
Yes, sir. I just got there.
Just got there. All right. Well, you want to give us a quick report from Honduras?
Yes, sir. We are here with a group of doctors doing a medical mission. We've got several of us who are taking care of the evangelistic part. We went out into the village and did some door-to-door today. Yesterday, we saw 390 patients and saw 23 people come to know the Lord. And today, we've already got reports of over 40 that have claimed to be saved. So we're really excited about it. We've got 2 more days of ministry, and then Friday we're gonna do a little bit of sightseeing things, and we'll be home late Saturday night. So, but I'm happy to be able to be in the meeting with you tonight just to hear how things go.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. We keep you in our thoughts and prayers and all the things that are around such a good event and traveling abroad and everything that you're doing there, spreading the message. So we're certainly keep you in our thoughts and prayers. So we're going to get started here. So do you want to lead us, Marty, in a word of prayer before we get going for your name's sake, being in such a...
Absolutely. Lord, thank you for the opportunity that you give us today to be able to meet together from all over the world, literally today. And Lord, I just pray that you would just guide the meeting tonight, that you would make it profitable, that we would learn, that we would apply the things that we learn. Lord, I pray that you would continue to give us great fruit as we minister here in Honduras. And Lord, bless our association and help us to just glorify you through the work that we do. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Good, thank you. So I think this is probably the first time in NOOA history that we've reached out to multi-nation now. So we've got GTOA beat. Wait till I tell Ethan. First thing I'm going to do is make a phone call to him tonight whenever I get out of here. Let him know that we've reached other parts of the world, and Marty has allowed us to do that. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here. Anything to report from the other locations? Scott, anything from Telequal? Can you hear us? Everything up and running there?
Yeah, we're here. Scott's not, but I am.
Okay. Sorry. Anything to add, report, questions, everything up and running? You can see the screen and everything?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Other locations. I think we have Bonita. We've got some Bonita guys here, so just checking to make sure.
There was another one that was in and they left. Michael.
Okay.
Yeah, Jared, we were not able to have the Veneta location tonight, so we sent the Zoom link to a few guys. So hopefully they'll be coming in and out as we go this evening.
All right, good. We won't put them on the spot. We'll get moving. What we've got on the screen, here's kind of the plan for tonight. Last week we outlined the expectations, the standards, the points of emphasis for the NFHS across the nation. And we won't speak for Dave York or Ethan. We'll let them do that when it comes their time to be in front of you. But it's going to be geared to what we talked about last week. safety, the importance of the role we have in dealing with the stewardship of the game. So I tried to pick out some plays this week, and it's from our games. Have any idea who's on the screen? A couple of Grove games, there's a Miami game, there's a J game. So we may see ourselves. If you see yourself, nothing was intended. It's all for teaching purposes. We're going to go through about 15 or 20 plays here in a little bit. A lot of the stuff that we talked about last week, safety, mechanics, keeping our head on a swivel, making sure we're seeing all players, and even getting into some penalty enforcement and how it can help us. So hopefully by the time you leave tonight, here in about an hour and 15 or 20 minutes, you've got a lot of information that you can digest and say, okay, I saw what you were doing last week and how it really applies now to the video screen. And that's really what we want to do in officiating. We encouraged you last week to take your huddle accounts and spend a lot of time with them. I went in there today again, and there is a huge amount of information in the 25-26 football season. There are tons and tons and tons and tons of games, thousands of plays. When Ethan comes up here next week, they have a new state-of-the-art system that he's going to show you. We didn't want to break it out tonight. He said we could, but I said, no, let's wait and let you do it. They're going to show you how they have taken a video system and embedded the huddle plays with comments from all of the GTOA games and that they've observed and watched and made comments about. You can literally type in holding, 3rd and 4, holding, and all kinds of mechanics and pass interference, roughing the passer, all kinds of different mechanics and penalty in there. And it will bring up a specific play, and it will have the play, and it will have a comment from somebody that has observed that play with teaching points in it. So want to encourage you to be here next week. It's going to be a lot better than what we're going to look at here tonight, which is just the plain huddle and somebody doing voiceover with it as we walk through the play. But before we get there you see 5 test questions that we've pulled together and put up. So what I want you to do is work them together, because whenever we get on the field, we sometimes have to put our heads together to work these out as a crew. So at your table, you're going to talk amongst yourselves. Some of them are easy. Some of them may not be. Whether you're a few hours into this, like we talked about last week, or whether you are several years, there'll be a couple down towards the end that kind of build on themselves, but walk through the penalty enforcement. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. Hopefully you can see this. We might have to enlarge it a little bit, but hopefully you can see these and all of the remote locations. Work through these, answer them to the best of your ability, and we'll give you about, 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll go around the room. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I missed it by 1. We've got 6 tables here and 5 questions, so we might team up here.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to.
Trust me, I got glasses all over the face. Party in Honduras. Let's say we can do what we want, but I'm sure he's watching. If you don't have your packets, folks, right here. So whenever you go through these, make sure you're administered like you would on the field.
Which one you got?
Oh, so I understand. Number two can be a little confusing. The tackle takes place where he fumbles at the A30. So the tackling spot, it's not real clear. So. So when you're taking the test, like keywords unnecessarily would be a foul. Keywords like that that's where they're leading you. Like the keyword at number one, unless you see it on the field, it's really difficult on paper to be official. They provide for you like unnecessarily, go ahead and make that. Yeah, that would be a penalty. Aggressively knocks into the ground. Yes, yeah. Tackles him. Yeah, I should have added. Number two, there's a grab and twist. I should have put that in there. Grabs and twists and space. We still have a 5 yard. Hey, remind me to talk about this.
Hey, Jared,
Yes, sir.
can you all mute yours until you need to talk to us? Because you guys are so loud, we can't hardly.
I got you.
Hear.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine.
through these. Delacroix, you can jump in, feel free. Hopefully you can hear us now. We're going to go through these. Table, let's go table 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 back there. So in progression, it's going to steadily get more difficult. So Delacroix, you guys got to do the same. Put your groups together, and if you're in remote, kind of pair up to where we've got a group for each one of these to go through. So group 1 here is going to go through and explain how they went through and answered number 1. Delacroix, you kind of chime in right after they do. All right, group 1. All right, I'm going to kind of give you a play-by-play as they're going through because I don't think you can hear it. Questions are offset. Do we administer? What do we do?
They're both dead balls. Okay, so they're both dead balls. So unless you call it unsportsmanlike on the defensive player, you would have offset. You would not be able to go 5 yards on the false start and 15 against the defense. You would offset it because one would be personal, one would be false start. Unless it's unsportsmanlike, you would have to offset it. Because unsportsmanlike, you can only administer the penalties. You got 3 unsportsmanlike, you can only do 2 offset, but you still got to administer 1 of them.
Okay. Now this year, I'm not asking the question because I don't know. Everybody chime in. Something in my brain triggers the fact, is there a certain number of unsportsmanlike fouls that could cause you to be removed or disqualified from the game? 2. All right. So now it's extremely important that we start putting these in the right bucket. Can you have an unsportsmanlike foul with contact?
No.
All right. So now I know where he's headed with this. He's trying to get to the unnecessary roughness where that table is. That's great. It's a 15-yard foul. But if you go to the coach, this is great. This is a great discussion. But if you go to the coach and say, who was it that came across? B44. Coach, B44, we're giving him his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Well, coach is going to go, hey, wait a minute. He can only have 1 more. Are you guys sure that you're going to give him that? Because this should be a personal. If anybody, now, Coach Hannah can come back and watch these, but Coach Hannah would know, hey, no, you can't give him an unsportsmanlike foul. That's an unnecessary roughness foul. You can't stick my guy. That's my middle linebacker. You can't put him 1 step away from being disqualified. So that's why it's so important because it's happened. I've been a part of it where we administer an unsportsmanlike foul and we come back and go, hey, wait a minute. We stuck number 26 with an unsportsmanlike foul, and it's not. It's an unnecessary roughness. Yeah. So you have to rewind and come back and say, hey, whoa, wait a minute. And go tell everybody, hey, no, that wasn't unsportsmanlike. That's an unnecessary roughness foul. Now that we've got that clear, what do we do with these? Do we offset them, or can you administer them in the course in which that they happen?
As they go.
Yeah, they would both be administered regardless, unless the yardage is equal, which they're not in this case.
5 yards one way, 15 back the other way.
And
I don't think that's true unless it's a live ball and a dead ball.
No, dead ball fouls only offset if they're equal yardage.
So you do both?
So you'd go -5 and plus 15.
Read that out of rule.
And that is rule 1025B.
So here, let me step in here real quick. And the reason, and Tony's been along for several others have been along for the ride for a year. And the reason that we don't spend a whole lot of time in the rules and organized rules meetings like this is because it gets wild, it gets out of hand, it gets us going off in left field, it gets us going crazy because there's so many different opinions about what there shouldn't be. but it's been that way for years, has it not? It's been that way for years. It's been that way since we started this association. It's been that way. These questions are designed. I put these up here because I knew that we would have these discussions. When we get down to 4 and 5, it'll really get wild. All right, we might have to put the seatbelts on, and we might have to just fast forward through some of it. But these are simple administrations. So these are things that you just got to click through because this happens. This table said a while ago, hey, this was a play that happened. Where was it?
Playoff game gets buy-in and
Adair. Oh, it was a playoff game between Viad and Adair. Now, those are not small potatoes. Those are big time teams. That was probably late in the season. So you get this wrong. And we're going to show you here in video here in just a second. Inches in this game matter. And if you administer it incorrectly, that's huge in a game like Bonita Adair and Viad. That could be the difference in the game if you administer this incorrectly. Takes the possession away, flips the field, and they're just waiting for things like that in a game like that. So, what do we land on? Table 1, groups that are helping us.
With offset.
You're with offset.
Offset is that.
Okay. All right. Table 1 from here is going to offset. Marty, anybody from remote telequal?
I don't have my rule books to be able to check the rule that was listed there.
get out of the case.
You get a get out of jail free card from Honduras.
That's exact play.
I guess they might be handy.
Okay, we're gonna now somebody. It's our job as bystanders. The rest of us are in the stands. All right, the rest of us are in the stands. So make sure that we go back and research number 1 because there's casebook plays in there with that. Let's go on to number 2. Let's make sure we get the correct answer before we get out of here tonight. Number 2, table number 2, the 3 amigos.
Put them both by the defense.
Yeah.
Say that again.
We were looking at a different, at that
But the
first.
guy got disqualified.
Okay, so I'm sorry. We need to let Telequal answer. Did you have a group number 1 down there that wants to answer?
On which question, number 2?
Number 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We didn't give your group number 1 an opportunity to answer.
I think what did you say?
Basically, they'd both be enforced separately, so back
Okay.
5 plus 15. So A would basically get a 1st and 10 off of this. Because those are not, because the rule only allows offsetting personal fouls or unsportsmanlike conduct penalties if both teams occur, if those occur on both teams. So a 5 and a 15 would not offset in this case.
Okay, so you're going to have a difference of 10 yards for the plus side for A. So you're going to put the ball in play next at the B40, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right. Group 1 from here, it's your job to make sure you research, rebuttal, make sure you find out. All right. Here we go. Wait a minute.
I have a statement here on the rule book that all fouls are either dead ball fouls or live ball fouls, which depends on the status of the ball when the foul occurs.
Okay.
So by reading that, it says that would say both of those would be dead ball.
Dead ball foul.
And unless it's a non-player foul or unsportsmanlike, it is considered a double foul. So a non-player foul or unsportsmanlike, it doesn't say anything about personal foul. But it says right here, it's a double foul if both teams commit fouls other than non-player or unsportsmanlike during the same live ball period in which, and this is also for dead balls. There is no change of team possession unless all fouls committed by R are post-scrimmage kick foul. There is a change of team possession and the team in possession at the end of the foul down fouls prior to the final change of possession unless all fouls committed by R are post-scrimmage. There is a change of possession and the team in final possession accepts penalty for its opponent's foul at any time during the down. If each team fouls during the down or there to change possession, of course, we know that they have the option one way or the other. It doesn't say anything about personal foul being part of this as far as not offsetting the penalty. It just says not.
1025B says if teams commit unsportsmanlike, non-player or dead ball personal fouls.
Unnecessary roughness.
They want you to read 10-2-5B. If you read that one at the end, it says both teams commit unsportsmanlike, non-player, or dead ball personal fouls prior to the completion of the penalty administration for those fouls. The distance penalty for an equal number of 15-yard sportsmanlike, non-player, or dead ball personal fouls will offset. Any remaining penalties will be enforced separately in accordance.
In order of occurrence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the needle has moved to the offset side, right? Delacroix, you good with that? We're going to move on to 2. The door is still open. All right, we're still in the research phase. All right, group number 2. A second and 5 at the A25. B5 intercepts the ball and is running the ball at the A30 when I don't think you can run the ball, can you? Running the ball at the A30 when he fumbles the ball forward and out of bounds at the A20. Now remember, the rule changed last year, right? So if you fumble it forward and out of bounds, where does it come back to? Spot of the fumble. We're going to see a play like that here in just a second. As A1 tackles him by the face mask, so we're assuming that A30 is where he gets tackled, loses the ball, fumbles it forward, and out of bounds. So, group 2, how did you administer this?
You should be tackled at the A30. So you got a 15-yard personal foul face mask. You're going 1st and 10 from 15.
So, group 2 is just going to simply take the ball back to the 30 and add 15, which would be, I think, is that half the distance?
Yeah.
So it'd be half the distance to the goal. You're going to go the full 15, but mathematically it is a half the distance penalty straight to the 15. That was much more simple. All right. But you would think number 1 was simple because it's just a false start. But it brings into play so many different rules. And that's why rule 2 is so important. You got to know rule 2.
Okay, let's understand that they have intercepted the ball in A's end of the field. The
Right.
end of the run is A30.
Right.
The penalty is against A, so they're going to end up at the 15-yard line.
Right,
So
yeah.
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to the distance from the 30. The important thing is that you don't administer this from the 28. You make sure that you don't administer this where the forward fumble went out of bounds. So each time that you get into, and we struggle, not really just us, but across the state, we struggle with rule tests because you have to pick out what are they wanting me to discern here. And they're wanting you to make sure that you don't administer this from the 28. Last year's new rule. All right. They're wanting you to pick out that you don't go to the 28 and make it what's half the distance from the 28. Math. 14. All right. See, it's a difference of what? Just 1 simple yard. But if Vianne's playing it's not. If Vianne's playing A there in the semifinals, that 1 yard may make a huge amount of difference. So we have to be correct. And that's kind of the cherry here that we're trying to pick out here. All right. Anything, Telequal? All right. Moving on to number 3, group number 3.
All right, number 3, we have QB, 1st and 10 at the 20, quarterback A11 throws a legal pass. It's caught by A22. He runs to the 50 where he's tackled. After that play, B56 is called for roughing the passer. So that one to me is a pretty simple one. We're going to add 15 to the end of the run. So that would put them at the 35, 1st and 10 for A at the 35 going in.
All right, so we have a pass caught by A22. He runs the 50 tackle. We've got roughing the passer. We're just adding on 15, right?
Yeah.
Just adding on 15.
Always remember that even if they're, like if the downs, total yard gain 40, that's an automatic first down for us.
Is that
You always
correct?
gotta remember you have to automatic first
Yeah,
down,
1st and 10.
regardless of how many yards they had to gain.
And that, I'm glad we brought that up because a couple of years ago, they took away, unless it's roughing, right? All roughings are automatic first down. Everything else that comes up short of the line to gain, we're just continuing along and replaying the down or whatever the down or next, in the continuation of whatever down it may be, according to whatever rule we're applying. Delacroix, anything to add from that? Marty, anybody?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right. I think the important thing here to go through on the next couple of them is to really remember your, like we talked about, your dead ball, your basic spots, the rules around loose balls, and all of those things. So, all right, group number 4.
A, 1st and 10, A20, A1 runs to A25, where he fumbles the ball. B20 recovers it. During the fumble, B22 grabs the A22 and keeps him from throwing and fumble to A27. Got nothing. These balls. First down.
All right. So,
Nothing unless he grabs him by the face mask or don't commit the penalty.
When I say there is no
Otherwise, you can do.
all right. So,
Push, pull, whatever.
number 4, we're reading that the attempt, the grab by B22 to keep A22 from recovering the ball, we're seeing that as nothing here, and we're just playing football. Anything to add?
Football pushing. It's a free for all. Grab, push, throw somebody out of the way. To get the ball. Ball loose.
And 10.
You put it there.
7.
Any discussion from Delacroix, Marty?
There's rule 2 already.
I think that's accurate. I think while that ball is loose, unless it's a roughness type play, I don't believe there's a prohibition against them moving a player away from the ball.
Nothing there.
Everybody good in Delacroix?
Yes.
All right. So, was there any thought from the room about this keeps him, the restriction keeps him from recovering the football?
That's legal.
In the back.
Well, let's stick with the work. We'll get to that here in just a second. We want to make sure we answer that question. But let's get around this. Keeps him, the restriction that grabs A22 and keeps him from recovering the football. Did anybody think, hey, well, wait a minute. I know we can grab, push, and pull
Right.
in an attempt to what?
Recover the ball.
Recover the ball, right? So while you're taking these tests, does it say, it's kind of a trick question, does it say anything about the grabber, the restrictor trying to get to the football?
No.
No, because in the rule, I believe it is written in the rule. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, please. So I believe it says in the rule, in an attempt to get to the loose football, you can push, pull, grab, do whatever you want. But if you're not attempting to get to the football, can you push, pull, grab, or do whatever you want? So this is where we get stuck down in some rules, because these questions come up with the intent to trick, because you have to know the rule. If it is an attempt, so what rules writers and test writers will do is, in an attempt to get the football, B22 grabbed, pushed, pulled, kicked, did whatever he could do to get to the football. Absent that, what do you, well, not trip. Ball's loose at this point. So if it is absent, then what must you assume?
That he wasn't doing it.
That he's not doing it, that he's restricting A22 from getting there. So this is kind of a dirty trick of a test writer, but I believe it says in the rule, in an attempt to get to the loose ball, you can grab, push, pull, not trip. You see where I'm going with it, right? So
we've all read that. You just can't remember where it's at.
Right.
I'm
Of
looking
course,
for it.
say it, read it for us, Derek.
An offensive player may also use his hands or arms to push, pull, or ward off an opponent when the ball is loose. If he may legally touch or possess the ball if such contact is not pass interference or a personal foul or illegal use of hands. Vice versa with a defensive player may also push, pull, or ward off an opponent in an actual attempt to get at the runner or loose ball if such contact is not pass interference, personal foul, or illegal use of hands.
Right. So
on this one, it would stay with A. Is that what we're saying?
yeah,
The B has committed a foul.
Because of the fact that the statement in here is not in an attempt to get. So you would have a foul here because it's not in an attempt. It's illegal. It's an illegal act of grabbing someone and keeping them from getting to the ball, which you cannot do. And it's really hard to officiate because what are you going to be staring at? You're going to be staring at the loose ball. Who's getting this? Where's it at? What's going on? But someone out of the corner on the other side of the periphery, and we're going to see a play here in a little bit where it's very important to pay attention as the offside official. You're going to see somebody grab somebody and keep them from getting to the football. It happens all the time. But you need to know, is he in an attempt to continue to go after the ball, or does he just keep him back to allow a teammate to go get it? And those are the things in which we have to officiate. But this is a great question.
So I have a question that just read the rule book. It sounded like it said the offense does not have to attempt, but the defense does have to be in an attempt to get the ball. It sounded like it said the offense can basically do whatever, but the defense has to be an attempt to get to the runner or the ball. Is that correct? So this question, yes, there's a foul, but on the next one, because it's an offensive player, there's no foul.
I think because of that statement down there in the bottom of both of those paragraphs, I think you just insert the fact that A and B must, on a loose ball, attempt to get to the football. Because that says that in that section. Now, that is the challenge whenever you take rules test. All right, that's why it's so important, so important. You got to know these rules.
But when you got a loose ball, what player is not attempting to
Exactly.
recover the football?
Exactly. The only time you're going to see this is here. All right, but that highlights the fact that are we a very good rules taker? All right, we can just snap this out and say, hey, whoa, wait a minute, there's a statement missing, which might make this a foul, guys. I think this is a foul on paper. Because, but it happens. I mean, you see on the offside, they'll grab and hold them. All right. And keep it from getting to the football. So, great section there. Great discussion. So, let's administer it as a foul. So, what would you do? Group 4. Put you on the spot.
Okay, so it's a loose ball foul. It's a foul during the loose ball. So it's gonna belong to K and where did it go? 27?
No, we'll go back to the spot that you.
So I was just looking to see if it was behind it. So we'll go to 25 and do 10 yards from 25 would be a ball person.
25, 35. Yeah, I believe that's correct. We're saying from the A25 to the 35 here. We would go to the spot of the fumble, and then we would add 10. There is a chance that we feel like, hey, we're going to go back to the previous spot because it's a foul during a loose ball play, which we know that if that happens, we got to go back to the previous spot. But I think if you'll research fumbles and all of that section, it will take you to the spot the ball was lost, into the run, which gets us back into rule 2. You got to know end of run, basic spot, fumbles, all of those things. All right. Anything from Telequal?
So we're first and 10 at the 35.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Okay. All right, number 5. Yeah. Huh?
Read the bottom.
Read the bottom. Okay.
Sorry.
5.
Hey, Jared, also.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is another reminder that it's very important for us to get a beanbag on the spot of that fumble.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
this is a situation where that's going to be our enforcement spot.
Right. That's a good point. All right. Number 5. A1 runs to the A30 where he fumbles the ball. And A20 recovers it at the A32. So we got the fumble at the 30, 2 yards in advance. We've got A recovering it. During the fumble, A11 grabs B11 to keep him from recovering the fumble at the A28. So we run to the 30. Fumbles the ball. A now, during the loose ball, is going to grab and restrict at the A28. So we've got A28 with the spot of the foul. Do we not?
Well, I guess
Yes, A28 is the spot of the foul. The end of the run is where? 30? And the recovery spot is what? 32. So you've got all 3 spots here. You got the end of the play, the basic spot, spot of the foul, and a fumble spot. All in here. This is all in Rule 2. So where are you going to administer this penalty from?
They would come to me and they tell me all that, I work that.
That goes back to the old rule you first learned, young officials. If you don't know how to administer it, don't call a penalty. All right, so you got all 3 spots starting at the 28.
All right, it's important to understand that this is not a fumble out of bounds, so we're not going to move the ball back, but that doesn't mean that we won't use the end of the run as an enforcement spot.
Right. So one thing that we don't do a very good job of all the way up is identifying the end of the play. Where's the end of the play right here? 32. We've got time right here. All right. So this is a difficult enforcement. So what you do here, covering official, is take the football and set it on the ground at the 32. Set the ball on the ground at the 32. While that's going on, you got to work through that. So with the ball on the ground at the 32, that gives you, what is that?
That's the succeeding spot. Well, that's the end of the play.
Is that the end of the play, the basic spot, or what is that? The succeeding spot, or what is it? Or is it just simply the end of the play?
If you don't administer any penalty, it's the succeeding spot. So you would call it probably end of the play for now.
All right. So for now, it's the end of the play, the dead ball spot, right? So now we're going to work this out. So it's a foul during the loose ball, just like we had on 4. So where's the foul take place?
It's behind the original line of scrimmage, right? Or then the fumble.
So, okay, so it's behind the fumble at the 28. So where's the fumble at? Your beanbag is where?
30.
The 30. All right, so you got the dead ball spot at the 32, your beanbag, which is the fumble spot, at the 30, and then the foul at the 28. So what 2 spots are you most concerned with? Only 2 spots you're concerned with. The spot of the foul and what? This what? Spot of fumble. I believe if you will get in and read, the 2 spots that you're concerned about are the spot of the fumble and the spot of the foul. And whichever one hurts, the 3-and-1 principle, whichever one hurts A worse is going to be what? Our starts with a B, basic spot. So here the basic spot is what? The penalty, yes, the 28. I believe is this what you did, Group 5? I don't want to speak for you. No, yeah, maybe. Hey, we waited. I believe in Grove, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in Grove, we would administer this. We would administer this from the 28th. Anybody have heartburn with that?
Nope, that's where we'd go from.
Okay. All right, let's pull up those plays.
In Grove, it might, whatever day.
It's a live ball foul, but then.
Question,
That's right.
statement, yes.
What happens if fumble is
We're gonna go back to the 18.
15 yards?
Yeah, because, it's gonna be,
Yeah.
Make a penalty from the spot.
All right, so here it was B that was offended, so it's B's choice. So if the ball goes forward 15 yards, they're still gonna take.
Yeah, they're still gonna take it back, but I'm talking about on the previous play where you had it on the other one, where it was the offense that did it, and they fumbled it 15 yards beyond the spot of the fumble. You say you take it back to so the offense has the option of declining.
Right. Yeah. You've always, that's a great point. When you're working through these, make sure that the result of the play is not the best option. They would have fumbled it forward down to the 13 or 12 or 10.
Exactly.
They would have declined because you can only go from the 30 on number 4. Everybody, no, that's a good point because sometimes the result of the play may be better.
Exactly.
And next week we may throw a result of the play in there. So anything from Telequa or Marty before we get going here? We got about 30 minutes worth of video if we move quickly. We got about an hour of video, but we're gonna cut it today.
A couple of those lights.
Can you guys see everything moving okay at the remote locations?
I'm gonna blow it up. Give me just a second. Once we.
All right, we're gonna make the screen a little bit larger here.
Can y'all see the screen now? The
Need those words.
video.
All right, you got my paper?
I do.
I'm gonna have to. I can't remember.
Let me write them down
You
real
need
fast.
them?
Nope. Let me write
All
them
right,
down.
so while we're writing these down, we're going to look at a lot of mechanics. We're going to talk about safety. We're going to talk about management of the game, the flow of the game. We're going to get into some administration with the speed on how we move to the next down. We spent, and I really did it more of just kind of a experiment. Last year, we spent, I think we did like 5 games, and I experimented with the game clock, which means that I wound it, and Durb did a game with it. Sometimes I wound it quickly, like signal the first down, and then wound it way before we were ready, even before the umpire would set the ball down. Sometimes I would wait. Sometimes I would do it quickly. Sometimes we would administer penalties. We'd have false start, and I would have the administration already done, waiting on the umpire to set it down, just to see how quick we could get games over with. And we were well under 2 hours. But what we found was that if you kept the game going as fast as you possibly could, if you could get to the next play, and if you get a first down, and referees signal, wind the clock. Signal, wind the clock. Runner goes out of bounds, whatever rules apply, wind the clock. If you can sneak some time. If you just have a simple false start, we're going to see that here in just a second. Get the clock going. What we found was with the players, if you'll have an hour and 45, hour and 50-minute game, which means you got to hustle, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. If you'll have those hour and 50-minute, 55-minute games, and we were all over the place, A to 5A, and we averaged in that window. What we found was that the players were way tired after about 15, 20 minutes. They couldn't keep up. They couldn't keep up with the pace. They couldn't keep up. Even late in the season, they were dead tired. Time out. The players are too tired. So what can they not do? Can't complain. Can't do stupid stuff. They can't hit little Jimmy over here at blindside because they can barely keep up with the game. We're not stopping. We're going. We're going. We're going. We're going. I need a timeout. Timeout for water. And this was late in the season. So what we found was, and what I discovered was, hey, they can't keep up with this. So keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. The coaches can't worry about what we're doing because, yeah, we only got like 5 minutes left of this game and it's over. We're at halftime and we're going, I mean, we started at 7 o'clock and we're at halftime and it's 7:35. Where'd the game go?
Next play.
Next play, next play, next play. I mean, we were winding. Runner would go down for a first down. We were winding the clock. So in the course of that, they can't keep up with that. So referees, keep the game going. Keep the game going. Move it forward. Move it forward. Move it forward. Coaches don't have time to get on you. Fans realize, golly, I'm on my way home at 8:45. 8:50, we're in the car. That's the greatest group of officials of all time. But they don't associate us with that. But they don't have any idea. They don't have time to set up in the stands because you move right on the next play. Move right on to the next play. So let's watch a little bit of this. On play number 2. That's what I got here. Close the distance. Because in order to be efficient with players, close the distance. Close the distance, and then we can work backwards. All right? Play number 3. Remember when we talked about multiple signals? This is a multiple signal. Watch the line of scrimmage officials. Ball's going to be dead in the middle of the field. Signal at the top, signal at the bottom. So what does that tell us? If we're observing, what does everybody on the field know? Where the ball's at? Where the ball's at? Because play number, I believe it's this play. Watch what happens around the periphery. All right, maybe we see it, maybe we don't. But what do we stop it right there? What do we have to do to these two players early in the game? Wait, who said that? Yes, these two players have to have somebody stop and talk to both of them. Hands on the shoulder. Hey, look, we're not going to do this tonight. We can't be doing this all night. Stop. It's great. Play's over. You guys are pumped up. Let's play. That way they know, hey, somebody saw that. As opposed to, no, we don't know. I have no doubt that the official saw it. But this is where we get into that pace or that controlling the game. Controlling the game. All right, play number 5. Let's walk through this false start. Now, there's nothing wrong with the way we do it, but let's just walk through it. Remember our penalty enforcement there a while ago. Now, this just happens to be the first penalty that I saw today, so there's nothing wrong with this, but let's just walk through it. Remember the speed in which, saw it right there. Remember the speed in which that I talked about. What is this? This is just a simple what? It's a simple false start. Referee knows it, umpire knows it, both line of scrimmage officials know it. So what can we do?
Dead ball, walk it off.
Just
Set the ball.
dead ball, false start, number whatever. Referee's done from wherever he's at. I promise you, as soon as the flags go up, they're going to look at the referee. Even where you're at, way over here. Dead ball, false start, and point. Umpire can sprint, mark it off, and then the clock winds, right? And as soon as the umpire gets on his 5th step, wind the clock. And then we're on to the next play. Now, this is not a controversial play. It's clear that everybody false starts. but then we're on to the next play. Dead ball, false start, point, sprint to the ball, mark off 5, wind the clock. You might even do it as soon as you get done doing your announcement. Just wind it. I mean, I know the rule says the ball's got to be on the ground, but wind the clock. Get to the next play. That's what everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see more clock running, more games, more plays. So let's go back to that because we want to walk through this. So we've already talked about what the referee can do. We've talked about what the umpire can do. Look at the guy or the official at the top. Stop right there. The official at the top, we're going to assume that that's the H. They are responsible for marking off the penalty with the umpire. So this dead ball spot is what, the 37, roughly 31, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to end up 5 yards back, 32, 31, whatever it is. We're going to administer this penalty together. We're literally going to look at each other, and as soon as you get there, I'm already there. Make eye contact. We're going 5 yards. Now, the universal signal between he and I or she and I is 1, 2, 3. If I'm going 5 yards, I'm going 1. 10 yards is 2. 3 is 15 yards. If I'm going half the distance, we're just cutting our arm off. Half the distance. 1, 2, 3. If I'm going 3, I'm going 15 yards. Right here, we would go 1. I'm just going to signal 1. I'm going to jog 5. He's going to jog 5. Referee's already got everything down. Hopefully, he's got the clock wound. 25-second play clock, and we're off and go. So, who's left? Who are the 2 officials that are left? All right. What's the back judge's responsibility here? Back judges? Anybody? Anybody? Dead ball officiating, but primarily what?
Watching the
Defense. All of these things are true, but more importantly, what's stopped right now? The clock. We want to make sure that as soon as the referee goes like this, it does what? It starts. But more importantly, if we've got a penalty, we've got to make sure that it stops. We want to make sure it stops and starts when it is supposed to. That's primary for you, number one, as well as observing players. But you've got the clock, especially if it's at the referee's back. So who's left? The other line of scrimmage official, right? So after the umpire and the head linesman mark it off, you're the second, really the third check. Your box man or guy or gal is also involved. They should mark it off as well. If you mark it off incorrectly, you, the umpire, the other line of scrimmage official, and your box man are all on the hook. All right, put them in the game. Hey, get ready to mark off 5 yards right here. Make sure I go 5. Okay, all right. We'll do that for 5. You went 5. All right, put them in the game with you. That will help keep them engaged. Any questions? Questions?
If it's the head linesman that is making the call, do you still want the head linesman to be the one that does the 5 yards? Or do we want the opposing wing guy to do the 5 yards?
That's a great question. No, the head linesman is still going to be responsible for going through the mechanics of getting out on the field, getting the play shut down, get back and get your flag, get it put away, and get in unison with the umpire. Now, the umpire may leave you, all right? You may have to catch up to him or her, but you're going to have to get on your horse, all right? All right, great play. All right, let's go on to number 6. All right, our brain should be spinning. I think we had a rules test about it, or a rules question about this a while ago. Let that one play again. We'll let it play over and over and over. Lots on this play. Watch the fullback. Is that legal? Why is he extending the ball? Is he a covering official? The down marker.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised by that. Because what do? They watch football, right? So what do they do at the line of game now? These guys who are in high school are great athletes now. They're not like it used to be. When I was in high school, I never thought about extending to the line. Well, I didn't. I was just an average player. Maybe somebody did. But now everybody at the line of game is getting it because what do they do on Saturday and Sunday? Everybody does it. It's a big thing. It's part of the game now. So don't be surprised. Yeah.
Break the plane.
Just gotta get it across with the first down. But now what happens? Ball comes out.
It's gonna go back to where you lost it.
And then they start grabbing, restricting, getting to the fumble.
Now you gotta start going through all that rule too. All right, so this appears to be a pretty good spot, right? Where's the line to gain at?
Pretty close. That's real close.
Remember, it's a game of inches, right? Because what is most likely going to happen on the very next play? What down is it right now?
Third down. It's third right now, so it's gonna be fourth.
So what do teams no longer do? If you're a punter, if you want to be a punter on Saturday and Sunday, your chances of succeeding are going downhill because what do high school teams do nowadays?
Go for it.
They no longer punt, right?
Analytics.
They no longer punt. Saturday and Sunday, they no longer punt. It's turned into Madden football. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. So we're going to come back and we have to be correct with our spots. If we give them a first down here, that's a huge advantage, right? If we misapply and we're not good at spotting the football.
Did he fumble that ball forward on that play too?
All right, so that's another element, right? Because where's it come back to? So now the question was he inbounds, out of bounds? How are we going to rule this? Now you're starting to put all this together because that's what happens on this play. He fumbles it forward and out of bounds from inbound. But it's so close, he's right at the sideline. Right. So when does it start coming loose?
It's right there. He walks back.
All right, so let's go to the next play, which is let's go to number 7 and show them. I don't know if that's.
I can get it.
So here is play number 7, the very next play.
Good spot.
So it's a great spot. 1 yard short, right where he lost possession of the ball, but it just highlights that had we been wrong, then who gets another set of downs? Hey, all right. There's so much on that. Did he step out of bounds before he lost the ball? When did he lose the ball? Am I going to get him a first down? Does it matter? All of that stuff because it's a difference in a possession. Now here, all right, we don't ever want to short a team because of our failure to work proper mechanics. I get it. This is week number 1, Grove Veneta. You do that semifinals between, and I'll keep references this game, but we had it. You do that in the semifinals between Vian and Adair. That is so huge. That is so huge. So, as officials, to be stewards of the game, let's be great week 1, play number 4 or 5. Let's be great play 1, week 1, when plays like this happen. All right? Because we're stewards of the game. Just a great play. All right, play number 10. This is the greatest play of the playlist. Let's see. I'm going to give extra credit to anybody that picks up on where we mess up. The biggest mistake, and I don't want to say mistake because it is a mistake, but somebody's got to pick up on it. And we're going to have to, these plays will be in sequence. So I'm going to play number 10. And then I want you to show play 11. Let number 10 play one more time. All right, now play play 11. There's play 11.
You didn't go to the previous spot on the holding. You
Who
went from
said that?
Jeff.
Oh, I was hoping that would bake in there a little bit longer. So explain what you just said.
Well, with the new ruling with the holding behind the line of scrimmage, you go back to the previous spot. It's not a spot foul anymore behind the line of scrimmage.
So does everyone understand what he's talking about?
The 31, so
So we're still a little bit confused. Talk a little bit more. Explain what you're talking about.
Well, I think the line of scrimmage on play number 10 is the 31. And on the next play, it looked like you were all the way back to the.
I think they got it right.
Now we administered at 10. Is that what you're talking about? Now some of the officials in here, I haven't identified anybody in the room.
Okay.
Some of them are starting to identify themselves. They're getting a little testy about the administration, but
No, they did go for 41.
so is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but I was wrong.
Oh, you thought, okay. Well, I thought you would. All right. Well, this is still bacon. The mistake is still out there. Y'all thought you was going. I thought you was going to. You're still okay for speaking up, but it's still. He was right there. He took you to the spot, but he left. What? What do we miss? It's right in the fact that he said the foul happens behind the line, and you go to the previous spot. With what? What's off? It's very. I mean, it's. huge.
The ball was on almost the right hash, and it's
Oh, yeah, the mark.
There you go. Look.
from right hash to left hash.
Look at the hashes. For
One,
was
two. You're at number. And
Jeff,
you're,
Jeff was right when he said this is a previous spot enforcement.
yeah, but hash marks, yeah. You went from 2 to.
Who
Middle.
said that? Was that you, Fred?
Hold on, where did this end up?
doesn't matter.
You
You go back to where he was.
Yeah, you go back to the previous spot.
Should go from.
So
We were near the left hash after.
Yeah.
No, we're in the
The
middle.
difference about-
Should have been over this way.
You went from upright to the middle.
so you see what? So we went to what we did was we administered as a spot foul, right? So if you'll notice, the tight end or the tackle was shaded towards that side of the field. So we went to where our flags were at and administered at 10 yards. We got the 10 yards. We went to the previous spot, but we should have went to the true previous spot, which would have been position number 2. Now everybody's clear on how we number the field, right?
No.
1. Okay. So here's how we number the field.
Right hash mark.
The hashes nearest the press box is 1. The nearest upright to the press box is 2. Middle of the field is 3. Next upright is 4. Farthest hash away from the press box is 5. So when you hear those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Question.
Since that's going away from the LJ, can he kind of come up the field a little bit, like not to that area, but towards that area to kind of help with that?
I'm glad you asked that question. It's a great question. We got a good question about the opposite side official here. We're going to talk through this here in just a second. But before we get to that, what I would do if I was you as Cruz, I would pick 3 spots. I would use the hashes and the middle. Hashes and the middle. And do away with these edges and the uprights. I would just use the middle and the hashes. If he goes down anywhere in between the hashes, umpires, just go to the middle. 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 Because coaches should design all of their plays from the middle of the field or from a hash mark. Now, coaches in here can speak up, but I don't know that it would be much difference if they went from an upright.
Other thing, my umpire, I use a down marker and do a 1, 2, 3 before I'll face them right, middle, left. And that way I know where the ball is called.
It helps with relaying the ball because a lot of times me as the referee, if I go over and get the ball, sometimes I don't really know where the runner went down inside the hashes, but if I know the umpire is always going to be in the middle, I know that it went down in between the hashes. So I know that umpire is always going to be in the middle. We're just going to put it in the middle. We're going to put it in the middle. He's always just going to go to the middle, go to the middle. Now, if he's off by a foot or two, it doesn't really matter. If you put it over here, 2 or 3 foot, over here, 2 or 3 foot, but you're always aiming for the middle. Just a great play. Now let's get into, we get 3 flags here. Does anybody say, whoa? When we see 3 flags as observers and watching this, we go, dang.
They all saw it.
They all saw it, but that causes us a little bit of problem. All right. When we observe our college officials and we've got like 3 and 4 flags, we're like, oh, yeah, we got huge problems because we got 4 guys or gals watching the same people. So let's go back and let's dissect. It's a great call. There's no question about it. But we've got a huge number of players. Stop it right there. We've got a huge number of players uncovered. So we know that the umpire, referee, and the top line of scrimmage official get this. It's a clear and obvious hold by the left tackle. No question. All right. But top line of scrimmage official, how many receivers do you have? 3. So we want you watching one of those 3 receivers. You got too many people up there. Now, you can make the argument that they're running in space. So I started on the tackle and I stayed with him. That's a valid argument. The line of scrimmage official at the top has a valid argument to say, well, they wouldn't threaten, and that hold happened pretty early, so I stayed there. I can buy that. It's okay. But make sure that you understand you got 3 receivers up there, and that's your primary responsibility. You got really no other help than the back judge. 2 officials and 3 players. Actually, 6 players. All right. So now let's go to the umpire. Great. That's right where you should be looking. Now let's go to the referee. We want referees on your side to be over here on this side. Now, that hold jumps out as, everybody sees that. And the argument could be that, man, that nobody's going to not call that. They see clear as day. But we want to teach and make sure that we are focused and seeing the right side of the field and we don't have things uncovered. All right. This is a great way to teach that because we can see where everybody's really looking. Now, the question was the line of scrimmage official at the bottom. So let it run just a little bit. All right. So what does the line of scrimmage, if saw it right there, the line of scrimmage official at the bottom knows what? Well, he knows that we've got a foul for what? He even saw it, right? He knows we got holding. But it was such a big foul. But more importantly, we want to go ahead. We want you to go ahead and work your mechanics.
Yeah, receiver to his right.
We want you to keep officiating because there's a couple of players out here that we don't have anybody watching. Because where's the back judge looking at? He's looking at the middle of the field to the top. So there's 2 players out here that we don't have anybody watching. But I can promise you that is somebody's son and grandson. That's somebody's son and grandson. And if something goes on back here and we don't see it, then there we go. All right. So we always have to have, and that's a great question. So to answer that, he needs to continue to officiate and then be responsible for all of this stuff on the backside. I agree. Yeah. Any questions, comments, statements, concerns? We're trying to cycle through all of these plays here before we get to the end. So let's look at play number 14.
Okay.
That was a really good play. All right. Anybody pick up anything pre-snap?
Yeah, that guy.
Maybe moved early there.
Yeah, he wasn't set for a second.
So whenever that happens, you let it go, what's going to happen?
Keep happening.
You're going to throw a touchdown 100% of the time. And what happens? He threw a touchdown. So,
Advantage game.
so this is a great play to look at to say, you know what? We've been telling for years and years and years and years that, hey, we're going to try to cut back on ticky-tack fouls, ticky-tack fouls, ticky-tack fouls. But here's what happens when we don't let them clearly get set. When they don't clearly get set, here's what happens. So this is the difficult stuff that goes on. It happens at every position. You know, sometimes we're going to see one here in just a second where the back false starts and he ends up making a 20 or 30-yard run. Or they fall forward in the neutral zone. The defense does just a little bit and they recover the fumble. So we always have to be paying attention. Always have to be paying attention. That's a great point. So let's go back. So Dirk makes a great point. It's a tough look for the line judge. So go back to where it happens.
A little bit covered up. Yeah.
So everybody understands what we're talking about. The receiver at the top, the second receiver, doesn't fully get set. Now, the point was made, and it's a valid one. We may have difficulty seeing the second slot receiver. So, stop it right there. So the official at the top, take a step to your left, go downfield a yard or so you can see everybody. Step to your right into the backfield so you can see everybody. There's no written rule that says you have to stand on the line of scrimmage. You just need to see everybody. You need to see all of these players on offense, and you need to see all these players on defense on your side of the ball. That means you take a step or a half step downfield. That's great. Half step into the backfield. That's great. You got to see everybody. That's a great point. Any questions?
Jared, I have a question there. Okay.
Yes.
So, I think we talked about it a little bit last year. So, is this a false start or is it an illegal shift since he never got set? So everybody's moving up there. Everybody's moving at that point. Everybody has to be set before anybody can move. So, how do you want us to call that? Because if it's an illegal shift, we're going to let that play out. If it's a false start, we're going to kill it immediately. So,
Yeah. I think the important thing is you just call something. If you make it a false start, nobody's going to argue with you. Technically, black and white, by rule, it's an illegal shift for not everybody getting fully set coming from the huddle. Now, he comes up and then he's moving backwards. All right, so he's not fully set. Let's say that he gets set and then now he's moving backwards. Can they do that?
Yes.
Yeah. As long as all the original 11 were set. Now, you can't go in motion from the line of scrimmage. So, what I would do here in this situation is I would make this an illegal shift because that's what it is by rule. You just have a flag, you let the play out, then you would come back and administer the penalty. If he would get set and then starts moving backwards, I would make him off the line of scrimmage and put the widest receiver on, and then you can just play football. And then you just move on to the next net. Great question. All right, week 2, Jay Grove. Please, though.
Gary, on that
Question.
previous play, because that's the game I first off. One thing we were just talking about, if you have if the team's in a hurry up offense or you're not push it down for a touchdown or something, a false start compared to a illegal shift is time off the clock.
Right. So
That's something else.
yeah, that's a great point. And that in the other levels of football, they address that in their rule. And they take care of that because the clock is so important. Here with NFHS, they don't address the fact that we should shut this down. It becomes a huge advantage to let this play go if there's 8 or 10 seconds and the offense is ahead. You know, let's put this on 3rd or 4th down and we give them a free play. It's just by rule.
I
You
do
know,
agree
it's
with you.
right.
Sometimes you look at it from.
Right. And if you can discern the fact that, hey, if we don't shut this down, they're going to get an extra play and be able to end the game. It's just most officials are not going to be able to be in that bucket at that point in time. All right, let's go to play number.
Should be at 15.
Yeah, let's look at 15. All right, this is just. All right, so stop it right there. So this is what I was talking about earlier. This is that game pace right here. Now he may because the video clicks out, but this is a perfect time. We've stopped it. We've got a clear first down. So as the referee, what we do, just bang, go, and then we just keep the clock going. Keep the clock going. You'll be surprised when you do that how less or how much time you can take off the length of your game. All right, let's go to play 25. We've gotten better at these. It's really difficult to say whether this is a foul or not. Watch the I believe it's the tackle at the bottom. Watch his action.
I think the little jump
It's
up
just-
makes it a
The
penalty.
difficulty here is you got to put yourself in the defender's shoes. Low blocks, pretty much across all of NFHS, are illegal, right? Unless it's the initial charge. So what you see when you watch this whole game is this player is immediately firing out the whole game. Here, he stands up for just a second, and then he goes low. So the defender, well, here he comes at me. And then bam, he gets me low. Just be aware. Just be aware that across all NFHS, they're trying to get this is very dangerous. All right. And the reason that I bring this up here isn't a foul. I don't know, maybe. Maybe. But the point where I want to get to is we're getting better at picking up low blocks. What we have missed for years is the lead blocker coming out and the defenders coming in and going low, taking those big guys out. We're getting better at calling those. But the point here is just put yourself in a defender's shoes. In his brain, he's coached that there can be no low blocks.
31.
Yeah, go to 31. All right, this will be the last one.
That's a penalty.
Okay, so right on the
That
edge.
kid gonna hit you no matter what.
Is that your boy?
That's Mondo.
Oh, all right. So now put yourself in the shoes. We're officiating loose ball. He's on it. Is it going to pop out or is it not? This kid comes in. This is our test question we had a while ago. Are we going to be able to pick up those periphery players? Where most likely will this penalty come from?
Referee.
Well, where will most likely? You got to put yourself in these two officials' shoes right here. They're right here on top of it. From this guy or this guy. They see the whole thing. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Now, it's right on the edge. And is it? Some go, oh, God, no, that's clear. It's right on the edge. But where are we trying to lean to this year to get rid of some of the safety? Yeah. So, I mean, it's his momentum's going into him. When the coach comes to him, he says, hey, what's he supposed to do? He can't hold up. Well, that's right. He really can't. He's got.
Jared, we're not hearing you.
3 yards.
Yeah. And the reason that, and that's it, you can take it off. And the point being is that it's just a great play to go, God. And I know what the officials are thinking, dang, where do you come from? That's really close to being late. We've all been there 1,000 times. And the coaching, the teaching point for this year is just remember. And there's a couple of others. There's some hits at the sidelines, and one here in just a second that we get when the official turns around and there's guys laying there going at it and he calls it. So we do get it. There's no issues with this game about it, but it just, that's how fast they can happen. So just remember, as you're working your preseason barometer here, you know, the low block, there's a reason we showed that previously. And then this late hit coming in, you know, where are we taking it? Because these are safety issues, and you know, these are what we're working to try to get. So, any questions? Any thoughts?
I think if you do call that, then it probably eliminates another one happening. Because
I think it's something you expect the big rival of the game.
Right.
but yeah, at the same time though, there's reasons to go the other way. But if you call that early, I think that maybe Grove a little, they're not going to retaliate maybe.
Right. And you know, that's kind of where the NFHS is really taking us, is if we get this stuff, if we call this stuff, if we put a thumb on it, the retaliation is not going to be there. The movement of, hey, get the clock going, get the clock going, get the clock going. It keeps the fans focused on the game, keeps the coaches focused on the game, the players. I'm telling you, they cannot play at the pace of a game that lasts an hour and 50 minutes. Dirk was a part of it. They just can't do it. And if you'll keep it moving that way, it's really taxing on them. It really, it'll take away all this stuff, but it doesn't limit it. So just something to think about. I hope some of these plays triggered some of the neurons in the brain. Maybe some of these questions. You guys make sure you study the rules. Get in Rule 2, and we'll try to. Did this help a little bit? Did the video help? Be able to see that along with some of the
Questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jared.
You have, the question is about, hold up just a second. The question is about the huddle video. Like we said last week, you have access to Huddle, GTOA. The association has paid GTOA a fee in which that covers everybody. Marty sends your email address to GTOA, and under that fee, you get the same. There's hundreds of games and hundreds of plays. You can go back and log in. Now, if you don't have access to that, when Marty gets back from abroad, we can work through GTOA and track down that login stuff, because these plays are great to watch. It's really great training.
Hey, Jared, would you do me a favor and hold up that QR code to the computer so that the guys that are watching on Zoom tonight can see the QR code? These QR codes are time sensitive, so only those watching this video, this evening, will get credit for this way. Now we're recording it, so we'll be able to give you credit if you're watching this at a later time.
Awesome.
But we need to have that. If you're watching it remotely here, as soon as they put that QR code up, get your phone to that or screenshot or whatever you need to do so that you can go to the QR code, fill out your information, and get credit for the meeting tonight. I would say don't forget, next week Ethan Rowland's going to be with us in Grove. Obviously, we will have the remote site in Tahlequah, and we'll have the remote site in Veneta next week. It wasn't available tonight, but it will be next week. And Ethan has promised that they will make that app available to all of us, and I believe it's going to be a great thing. All right, that's all I've got, Jared. Be sure to save that video for me, and it takes a little while for it to convert, but save it for me if you would. Thanks, guys. I'll be back next week. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Marty.